my channel. Today's video is just a little quick book review on 13 by Steve Cavanagh. I finished this book this morning about half an hour ago and I read the majority of it last night. I could not put the book down. It is number 5 in the Eddie Flynn series. Just looked, my mistake, it's number 4. So I've only read this one and Witness 8. You don't have to read any of the previous books to understand what's going on. They go into detail throughout the whole book, explaining the backstory of Eddie Flynn. So he is a lawyer who used to be a con man. Now he only takes on clients that he thinks are innocent, and he will not defend a guilty person. I'm sorry if I sound ill, I am, so my voice is a bit ugh at the moment. So throughout the book there are 2 perspectives. You have the perspective of Eddie Flynn, which is written in first person, and no other perspective in the book is written in first person. I really like that aspect about it. And then you have Cain, who is the serial killer. We know early on that Cain is the killer, and we slowly learn that his plan is to be on the jury for a famous murder trial. The murder trial is focused around Bobby Solomon, who is a famous actor, and Eddie takes him on as a client because he believes he is innocent. After looking through all the evidence, things start to add up. Things show that Bobby really wasn't there. I'm not going to spoil it. It's a very good read. It took me a while to get into it. So the first, I say, quarter of a book, nothing major happened. And it was like, do I want to carry on? But I did, and I couldn't put it down last night until I physically couldn't open my eyes. So I finished it this morning. I had about a chapter left and it was so good. The writing style is phenomenal. There's only, I think there's 2 plot twists throughout the book and I did not see any of them coming. It really caught me off guard. But that's what I like about thriller books. If I can expect the plot twist, it's not really, you know, I wouldn't say it's not good, but it's not up there for me. I have to be taken by surprise for these plot twists, and for this one I really was. So my favourite part of the book, out of everything in it, was the trial. When it started, you can just see, like, Steve's knowledge of things that go on in the courtroom is just like top level. That was my favourite part, the whole trial, because there are things that you aren't told as a reader previous in the book. So when Eddie is presenting his evidence or talking to the witnesses, you're like, oh my god, it just keeps coming, and you're not expecting it. Like, there's something about a mattress that you will read. I'm not going to say anything more, but when that was presented in court, I was like, that is so smart. So smart. Like, Steve's mind is just, I could never. And I definitely want to read all of the other books. Witness 8, I think, wasn't as good as this one, but I need to read all the others to make a official list of everything that, yeah. But for this one, I think I rated 4 stars. It would have been 5 if it gripped me from the very beginning. I don't know whether that was just because, you know, when you're in one of those moods and you just can't be bothered to read. Maybe it was because of that. But yeah, 4 stars. Let's go 4.5. 4.5 stars. Yeah, would have been 5 if it was one of those books I read in just one sitting. It doesn't look that thick, but the text is so small. I think that's added to the fact why it took me so long to read, that it's only 360 pages, but the text is tiny. But yeah, great. One of the best books I've read. I think I've read, oh, let me check. So I have read 14 books in September and 4 books now in October. I was going to do a video at the end of October rating every single book I've read that month, and then at the end of the year doing a ranking for every book I've read this year. So in August, I think I only read 2 because that's when I started reading. I read Verity and I read the first Housemaid book, which is being made into a movie, by the way, if you didn't know that. Is it Lionsgate, I think, that's picking it up? You've got Sydney Sweeney as Millie and Amanda Seyfried as Nina. I'm so excited for that movie. I enjoyed The Housemaid, but I preferred the second one. I don't know if I said that in my last video. I preferred the second one over the first one. I just think the ending was more satisfying. I don't know if there's been any updates on the film. I don't know if there's been a release date yet. I only saw the news a couple of weeks ago. Maybe, was it last week? No, a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, that's it. Apparently Netflix has taken up Never Lie as well, which I enjoyed Never Lie. It was okay. I think if I hadn't have started with Frida's books, I wouldn't have liked them as much as I did, if that makes sense. Because books like this, the detail and just the way it's written in general flows so much better, and I find has been more enjoyable than Frida's books. I like Frida's books, they're great, but I think they're a quick and simple read for someone who doesn't normally read. Like, Verity was the same as well. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, that seems good. Everyone really likes Verity. So I read it and I enjoyed it. Can't really remember much about it, but I then read the Housemaid. I bought all 3 books in the Housemaid series, read the first one in a day, read the second one the day after, and at the time I really enjoyed them. But if I was to read this book, or I don't know, any John Mars books, and then read a Frida book, I think I'd find it a little bit lacking. Not to be mean, obviously her books are great, but I just think writing wise her books are a bit basic. That's just my opinion. Obviously people still like her more than any other author, and that's absolutely fine, but if I hadn't read those books first, I don't think I would have liked them as much now. But then again, I did enjoy The Boyfriend, but I think I enjoyed The Boyfriend because it was so simple. This took me about a week to read fully. I read The Boyfriend in about 4 hours. So maybe it is just because, you know, people like them because they are a quick and simple read, which is absolutely fine. I do too. But yeah. So before I end this video, I went shopping 2 days ago and brought 9 books. And I just want everyone's opinion on which one I should read first. So they're all different genres. 2 are a bit, I only picked them up because they looked cool. So the first one I bought was The Naturals. Now I brought the entire series. It was 2 for £7, so I got the whole series for £14, which was great. I've been wanting to read this book for ages, but I just want to know people's actual opinions on it before I start it. So I have never been a fantasy person, even in terms of like films and TV shows. It's always kind of been bottom of my list. So I went to the works and I was like, you know what? I've got everything I want from here. Let's try a different genre. I have gone for 2 books which I see on TikTok all the time. So surely they've got to be good. So the first one is Powerless. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't really know. I just kind of picked it up off the shelf and thought, you know what? Why not? This seems like a very big book, like a very long book. It's, how many pages? It'd be nice if it told me. 500 pages. But yeah, Powerless. It's the first one of two, right? Or am I just, yeah, I think there's another one, isn't there? And then the next one, which I think I'm gonna prefer over this one, is Fourth Wing. This again is a huge, well, not huge, but like bigger than the books I normally read. Fourth Wing, I read the back, it seems decent, but is it? Again, see, I've seen this one on TikTok way more than I've seen Powerless on TikTok. People go crazy for this one, so I've got high hopes for it. And then I saw this one, I saw people doing reviews on it, and they said it's disturbing. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. I have never watched Wicked the musical, so I have nothing to compare this to. I've seen The Wizard of Oz, that's it. So I brought Wicked. Now, if this is disturbing, as disturbing as people say it is, why the hell have they put the musical cover, the film cover, on the book? If it's not supposed to be a children's book, why does it look like one? No, I am excited to read this one, to be fair. I am excited to watch the film, but I've never seen the musical, so I don't really know what happens in it. Yeah, I've got nothing to compare this book to. But yeah, if you've read it, is it as disturbing as people say it is? And then finally, this is going to seem really ridiculous, but I got The Naturals from HMV in the UK. If you're from the UK, go to HMV for books, they're great. And you know how HMV is like films and music. I didn't know there was books for Five Nights at Freddy's. So I brought the first two. There was about 10. I only bought them because they were so cheap. They were 2 for £7, and if they were anything more than that, I would have put them back. But yeah, I got the first 2 books. It says not suitable for younger readers, which makes sense because it's a horror game, but it feels like it should be a kid's book. Oh well. Again, if you've read them, which you probably haven't, let me know. But that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.